Hi teachers, this is Rachel Gibbs from the elementary instruction team. I'm going to show you in this video how to navigate our new one-to-one ed tech section of our elementary instruction site, and specifically how to use the DLCS resource bank that is now accessible for you to begin using this school year. So when you navigate to our elementary instruction site in the MCS bookmarks, you will find that there is a one-to-one EdTech resource section under the menu on the site. When you navigate to that section, there are several different options for you to move to from there. So I'm not going to go through every single one of these, but of course you can look into the tech expectations, the procedures on your own. I'll come back to the beginning of your tech resources and briefly touch on the more tech resources. But for the priority of this video, I really wanted to make sure that you guys are aware of this DLCS resource bank and all that it entails for you guys. So I'm going to click into that. So just a little bit of background and a huge shout out to our one-to-one workforce group. This group of teachers has been working over the summer to curate a DLCS resource bank for you guys that is comprised of activities that not only cover your digital literacy and computer science standards, the activities are also embedded into instructional standards. So the whole purpose of the resource bank for us was to make sure that we are offering you guys a bank of activities that you can pull from that's going to make you feel confident that you're covering those digital literacy and computer science standards, but also allow you to not do those standards as some whole other thing. You guys have plenty of things that you're already focused on accomplishing, and technology shouldn't be another thing that feels new added to your plate. Technology is a part of everything that we do and can help amplify and transform everything that we do in the classroom with our students. So these activities are embedded not only in the DLCS, but also into instructional standards. And you'll see that as I go through. Now, also, before I go any deeper, I do want to preface with kind of giving a disclaimer that this website, like I mentioned before, is meant to be a resource and a support for you guys, something to make you feel confident that you are choosing activities that are meaningful and purposeful and that cover those standards for you. It is not a list of expectations. So by all means, if you already have activities that you used previously to cover digital literacy and computer science standards, or if you along the way come up with something different you would prefer to do, or if these activities give you an idea of how you're already kind of covering these standards in a particular way, by all means continue to do what works for you. So this is not a list of activities you're expected to do, but they are pre-made activities that you can easily take and embed into your instruction and know that you have your DLCS standards covered. So before I actually go into the links that take you into the resources, I'm going to scroll down just a little bit and I'm going to open up our digital literacy and computer science overview for Madison City. Now, what this is kind of just a big kind of overview picture of what the DLCS plan looks like for Madison City Schools Elementary. So the digital literacy and computer science standards, if you're not super familiar with them, are broken into these 5 strands: computational thinking, digital citizenship, global collaboration, computing analyst, and innovative designer. And so what we've done is we've kind of figured out how best to sort of share the load so that there are certain strands that are going to be kind of fall to the classroom teacher to embed those within instruction, and then there are certain areas where you're also going to be offered partnerships to help you cover those particular standards. So as you can see in the key below, the pink kind of signifies that that is an embedded instruction strand within the classroom. We'll talk a little bit more about those partnerships in just a moment, but there is an exciting partnership opportunity with coding in the computational thinking strand, and I'll talk about that in a second. And then also in that global collaboration strand, you can see there is a huge opportunity for you to partner with your media specialists to accomplish those standards. So I'm going to speak a little more about that in a moment too. You'll also notice in orange that we are kind of re-putting out that expectation for typing agent this year. That kind of fell off a little over the past couple years, but there is a specific standard in each grade level that is very focused on typing and just familiarity with the keyboard, and so typing agent is going to be really powerful for that. So we are asking that teachers incorporate typing agent again this year. Now, there's no specific expectation for the amount of time you're spending with your students on typing agent, but it is encouraged that they're using typing agent weekly. It's a really good activity to use kind of as a when they walk in first thing in the morning kind of activity, or a transition, or for those who are finishing up tasks quickly. That's a good thing for them to have as an option to choose from and work on, and it's encouraged that teachers do help monitor students and their progress towards their typing goal. Now the little blue hearts to signify that some of the standards in that particular strand may overlap with counseling standards. We are, Ms. Allen and myself are going to be working with our counselors towards the beginning of this school year to really kind of fine tune this. Because it's kind of hit or miss as far as what really overlaps truly with what our counselors do with our students. But there are some areas of the digital citizenship strand that also overlap with some of the content that students will be getting in their lessons with their counselors, such as safety online, keeping our identities private, and avoiding cyberbullying, and being kind to others online. Okay, so now that we have kind of seen an overview, I'm going to give you a quick timeline too, as far as when you will see different activities in these different strands become available to you in the resource bank. And it kind of goes in the order of the strands as you see them here. So our number one big focus for our one-to-one group for this semester, what we've been working on all summer really diligently, is creating computational thinking activities for you guys. And what's really exciting about that is that the computational thinking strand of the DLCS standards, while when you first glance at it, can seem a bit overwhelming and can seem to be very computer oriented as far as actually using a device. But when you really start to dissect what computational thinking is all about, most of those standards are really about just thinking critically, about helping our students understand how to be confident problem solvers, being able to think abstractly, to think through sequences logically, to decompose a problem and ask questions to work your way towards the solution. So of course those are really powerful skills for anything that you're trying to do with your students. So I'm super excited that we're starting there. It's also really important that as we kick off the school year, we keep computational thinking really at the forefront of our mind, because our State Department, who is really looking to see more computer science integration in elementary schools this year, actually includes computational thinking in the wording of their expectation. The actual expectation is that elementary classrooms will incorporate computer science and computational thinking in instruction. So we do really want to make sure that we're being cognizant that we're including those computational thinking strategies. And I think you guys will really enjoy some of the activities that you find in the bank that are focused on computational thinking, as a lot of them don't even require technology. There are ways to amp up the lesson with your technology, but the purpose behind the standard is all about thinking through problems. We're also going to be focusing in this first semester on the Citizens of a Digital Culture strand. I'll be showing you our digital citizenship discussion guides and mini activity guides in a moment. Those are really easy for you guys to follow and plug in maybe to your morning meetings or other times when it makes sense in your schedule. And then the global collaboration standard strand, we're also going to start focusing on a little in the first semester too, as your media specialist can offer you tons of partnership opportunities with that. A lot of the standards in this particular strand focus on research, on using those digital tools, sharing with others, things that are really talents that are in the wheelhouse of our media specialists. So they're going to be huge in helping you out with those. So be sure to lean on your media specialist to work as a collaborator with you in that area. Now, the computational analyst and innovative designer strands, you may see some activities in the bank that do touch on those standards, but our one-to-one group is actually going to be working through the first semester to build activities that fall into these two strands to be ready for you guys in second semester. So you'll be seeing a lot more in this realm available to you for the first semester, and then as we get closer to January, you'll start to see more appear in this area. So I hope that makes sense. Also in this part of the site, there is a version of the actual DLCS standards for you that has those different areas kind of highlighted for you to see better for your particular grade level, kind of where each one falls as far as who's responsible for what and who can help you out in those particular areas. Okay, now I'm going to go back up to the actual bank itself and show you how you can navigate the activities. So there's a couple different ways that you can access the activities within the resource bank. Now, whichever way you choose to access them, it's the same activities you're looking at. It's just all about kind of how you would like to sort them or how you're trying to choose your activity. So here in the middle is just a basic folder of all of those resources organized by grade level. So when you click into that, it's going to take you into a Google folder. You can go into your grade level and then just see all of your resources organized there. But this link here is an index that you can use to search for particular activities. So I'm going to open that one up. Now on the overview of the index, it kind of gives you a few different places that you can get to. It shows you how to get to the Digital Citizenship Guide, some info on media specialist partnerships, as well as some of the other partnerships and offerings for the DLCS Resource Bank, and some checklists that you can use over here. But the most important thing to notice is down here at the bottom. These tabs are going to take you to your grade levels activities so that you can navigate and choose what's most helpful to you that way. So you can choose between searching the activities via the index, which is going to list all the activities and show you which DLCS standards those activities cover, or the pacing tab is going to kind of give you a correlation between the digital literacy and computer science activities and the instructional topic that they connect with, if you want to search them that way. So I'm going to go over to fourth. So when I click on the first index tab, you can see I have all of the current activities available in the DLCS Resource Bank listed here. And then across the top, you can see all of the fourth grade standards for digital literacy and computer science. There's 21 plus these 6 recurring standards that are in all the grade levels. So I can use this to search for something particular. So let's say that I'm really looking for something to cover this standard 2 on formulating a list of subproblems to address a larger problem. So I can look here, and maybe I want to try this choose your own adventure story. So I can click here to open that resource up and take a look at it. So each of our resources are going to be formatted this same way. So you've got the title, there's a quick overview for you of the activity, key vocabulary, you can see the standards that are covered. Notice a lot of these activities actually cover multiple standards, both in the DLCS and in the instructional area that it connects with. And then there are a list of directions. A lot of times there are also going to be links for you, so make sure you're looking out for those, sometimes to a larger lesson plan if needed, or to the original source where the activity was found. There are also resources linked for you for the activities, and then there's a computer science connection. Now, obviously, it's a computer science lesson because it's from the DLCS standards. But like I mentioned before, especially these computational thinking activities, a lot of them are more about the true skill of computational thinking, more so than actually navigating a device or actually doing something with your technology or your Chromebook. It's more about thinking the way a computer thinks. So if you would like to make that connection and utilize your device with the activity, there are always going to be some suggestions in that box to do that as well. And then you've got your 4 C's to see which of the 4 C's foundation that we have for our one-to-one integration is being covered in this particular activity. So I've found that activity using the index. I'm going to also click into the pacing. So if I click into the 4th pacing, I can also see that Choose Your Own Adventure went with the ELA writing standards. That kind of shows me where it's connected over there. And then you can also see we have math, social studies, and science all listed here. And then you can see the DLCS activities that go with those particular areas. Now, right now, there's not a ton of activities in here. Just do keep in mind that our website is a living and breathing site. It's constantly being worked on, and a lot of our one-to-one group is still working on shoring up and finishing up some of these activities. So in the next few days, you're going to see even more of these begin to pop up. And as we go through the school year, you're going to see even more of them appear for you. But that's how you can use that index and pacing guide to search and choose the different types of DLCS activities. The digital citizenship mini guides that cover your Citizens of a Digital Culture standards are also in these two resources as well. You can access them that way. I've also included them separately here if you want to access them on your own. So these are set up just a little bit different. I'm going to click into a kindergarten one. So this one document gives you activities to cover all of the digital citizenship standards. Like I mentioned earlier, it's a great idea to maybe use these as part of a morning meeting. I think they fit really well with the type of content you guys are usually trying to cover in a morning meeting, or other discussion-based times, or anywhere else that it just makes sense for you to plug them in instructionally. And again, you may have other ideas or things you've done previously that you would prefer to do, and that's fine as long as you have a plan to cover those standards. But the way this is set up, as you look down the document, you can see each of the standards for kindergarten listed, and then there are links below with activities that you can click into and utilize to cover that particular standard. A lot of them are going to be common sense activities because Common Sense Media has some fantastic quick 15-minute activities that usually consist of a video and then some discussion questions, which is a great way to cover those digital citizenship standards. Also available to you in the DLCS bank, there's some information on media specialist partnerships. Again, make sure that you're taking advantage of the awesome resources that your media specialist can offer you themselves as a resource to help you feel confident with how you're utilizing technology, and then also all of the awesome coding, robotics, makerspace type activities that they are housing in the media center and can help you integrate into your classroom. I put a little project planner here too, if that's helpful for you to kind of get started thinking through collaboration on a particular topic or DLCS standard with your media specialist. So remember that that's there too. I'm not going to go into the coding section right now because there's still more details coming on that, but we do have an exciting opportunity this year. We're developing coding partnerships. So in 2nd through 5th grade, when we start to really see those true coding and programming standards come into play, there are going to be opportunities for your classroom to have a partner, either myself, a STEM teacher, or in 5th grade, we have a really exciting partnership that we're going to be working with in the 2nd semester with our computer science high school students at James Clemens. They're going to be coming over to work with your students and offer some introductory coding opportunities there. So you'll get more details on that coming soon, but I'm really excited about that. Another thing here for you are these DLCS checklists. If you like to have a checklist to keep up with what you've done and what you're still working towards, these are here for you. So it will make you a document so you can just type right into it yourself if you would like, or you can print it and use it that way. But it will list all your standards. You can put the activities you plan to use to cover and then check off as you complete it. And it's not an expectation that you do that, but again, like I mentioned earlier, our state really is looking to see that we are including those computer science standards this school year, and it's one of our main district focuses. So you just do want to be able to feel confident that you are integrating those standards into your instruction. So if that helps, that's a resource that will help you kind of check that off. Okay, so another thing I'm super excited about is Breakout EDU. So we got a grant this school year, and all of our elementary schools have access to the Breakout EDU platform. So both the physical breakout escape room type activities as well as the digital breakouts. I know we kind of started that a little a few years back when Breakout kind of first became a big thing, but they have really upgraded their platform, and they have some great instructionally embedded activities for you now. So this page will help you see how you can go ahead and get started. If you're not already enrolled for your school, this will show you how you can get yourself enrolled into the platform and start discovering what all is out there. There's a link to the platform as well as a link to their instructional alignment page that will help you see all the different breakouts that they have to offer in different instructional areas. So you'll have both the physical ones, and then you'll also have those digital ones that students can kind of complete at their own pace too. That would be a good thing for you to give them like as an optional activity or sometimes as part of your actual lesson. And you will have kits. There's going to be 5 kits for checkout in each media center as well. So those are being delivered, and you'll be able to access those as well too to check out your breakout kits. There's also going to be some PD offered on this at each of our district teacher choice day PDs. So also make sure that you're looking for those. If you haven't tried Breakout before, it'll give you the opportunity to get to know how that works. But this is a really exciting opportunity. Breakout EDU, not only does it link to instructional standards, but it covers just about every one of those computational thinking standards. So kind of just takes that off your plate if you're choosing to cover those standards that way. Okay, our community read aloud library is still being worked on, so check back on that, but that's going to be super exciting once we have it set up. And we already talked some about Typing Agent. I'll touch just really quickly on some of the other things that might be helpful to you, but my main focus was just the DLCS bank. So in this beginning of year section, I have a few things here that might help you as you're getting started. We've got our Care of Device posters. If you need more copies of those, let me know, and I'm happy to get those for you. And then our Care of Device module. This is new, but when you click into it, you can go into the K2 or 3-5 sections, and you can use that to introduce to your students how to take care of their device this school year. That would be a great first thing to do in one of those first couple days of school. There's also some Chromebook tips here for you and some just getting started ideas for K2 and for the upper grades, starting to familiarize yourself with using a Chromebook. Also in the More Tech Resources section, we have information about learning platforms, the Google Suite for Education, tons of resources with that, some great creative products ideas, Go Guardian teacher information, and then some info for easy ways for you to create screen recordings if that's something that you're interested in. So keep checking back. There'll be more added to our website throughout the year, and I'll try to keep you updated as new things are being incorporated. Please reach out to me or to a member of your one-to-one workforce group at your school. They're happy to answer questions as best they can too, I'm sure. But if you do have any questions or need any help, just don't be afraid to reach out. I hope you guys have a great beginning of the school year, and have lots of fun getting started with your students with technology and amplifying their learning through tech.